making a bag out of an old t-shirt. It's a great way to reuse shirts you don't wear anymore instead of just throwing them away. All you'll need is a shirt and a sharp pair of scissors. So you want to use a shirt that will be big enough to give you some flexibility with your bag size. So basically, the bigger the shirt, the bigger the bag potentially could be. So you can choose a shirt with a pattern or a cool graphic. So I'm going to choose the Smithsonian Museum logo shirt here. It's completely up to you though. So first, you'll want to fold the shirt in half lengthwise. Like so. So once you have your shirt folded, you're going to want to make sure that all the ends line up really nicely. We're going to be cutting into this shirt, and this just makes everything nice and uniform so you don't have to try to go over the same thing twice. So first, you're going to be cutting off the arms, and you want to cut on the other side of the seam so that the arms will be nice and open. Okay, so I have cut off my sleeves from my bag. You can discard them or use them as cleaning cloths or dust cloths or something. Make them reusable. And as you can see, I have 2 holes in my shirt where the sleeves used to be, and these will be part of the handles of your t-shirt bag. So next, you're just going to want to unfold your shirt, and we're going to cut off the collar to kind of make the opening of the bag. So it's really up to you. You can kind of gauge what works best for the shirt you're using, but you want to at least cut off the collar portion, but you can make it as wide as you want. So let's cut off that collar. Alright, so I've cut off the collar of my shirt. This is what it's kind of going to look like. It won't be perfect, and you can always trim up the edges or trim up the sides if you need to, but as you can kind of see, it looks like bag handles and a bag opening, so we're well on our way. So the next step is we're going to want to turn your t-shirt inside out, and we're going to start working on tying the bottom of the bag to make a nice bag closure. So for that, turn your shirt inside out and lay it as flat as you can on your table. Okay, so the next part is a little bit tricky, but all you'll have to do is cut strips in the bottom of your t-shirt. So you're going to want to make sure that you cut through both layers of the shirt, and these will eventually become ties for which we can tie the end of the bag together nice and tight. So these are the kind of strips that I'm talking about. You're going to want them to be at least about an inch, inch and a half wide, and as even as you possibly can get them. So let's continue our strips to the very end. Okay, so I have cut all of my strips for my bag. You do not need to cut the end seam on both ends, because when you tie them up, they will be a sort of a nice closure for the bottom of the bag built in already. So what we're going to do now is tie a knot in each strip pair. So for example, the end and the one next to it, we're going to tie a knot. And you want to do both layers. Just a nice knot, and kind of keep going with each pair down the line. You want them to be tight, but they don't have to be that tight because we'll be doing a reinforcing knot once we get to the end here. And hopefully you have even strip pairings. Looks like I don't, but that's okay. We'll make do. So once you've done your first row of knots, and just kind of make sure they're nice and tight, we're going to want to close the little gaps that are between the knot pairings. So basically, we're just going to go and do another round of knots with our strip pairs. And basically, you just make as many knots as you can. You don't have to be too perfect with this, just as long as the bottom is nice and closed up. So just kind of go along making knots, just filling in any gap that there is between the knots. And then we'll just tie off one last knot. It won't look really pretty, but once we turn the bag right side out, it'll look more like a bag. So let's do that now. So let's turn our bag right side out. And that's it. These bags are a great way to reuse t-shirts, and since plastic bags aren't available anymore, a cost-effective way to procure reusable bags. So thanks for watching, and please check out the library website for more videos and resources. See ya!